You're listening to Podcast PXN,
a video game podcast
delivering player experience news.
Let's go!
I predict we are going to have a good show, and welcome to Podcast PXN episode 208. Sorry, software update. No, thank you. Remind me later, Elgato. I am one of your hosts, the ex-perennial dating app swiper from Portland, Oregon, Christian Macias, and I'm joined over Discord by Kentucky's #1 Spartan. He's back from vacation, PXN founder, Daniel Prindle, a.k.a. Dan is DTM.
Just in time. Also, I like how you snapped there, but I didn't hear the snap.
Yeah, I think that was a noise floored or whatever, noise gated, I should say, because of my software. I apologize. Video people though, they got to see me do it.
Yeah.
Dan, you're back from vacation real quick. I know you said in the pre-show, but publicly on show. How was it? You have a good time?
Yeah, it was very fun. Very fun. Cruise, lots of food. I ate way too much food, and Disney's rides were really cool. Very cool stuff.
Best ride at Disney that you rode?
Avatar.
Oh.
That was insane. Yeah. It literally felt like you're in that world flying on a Banshee. It was insane.
Doesn't even know it's called Pandora. This fake fan. This fake Avatar fan.
In that world, I'm not saying I don't. Fuck off. You're trying to stir me up already. Here we go.
Love it.
You gotta get back in the swing of things.
Yeah. Absolutely. Did you vote for him? I did. It's the president of the Tifa Lockhart fan club, also the Nintendo aficionado and artist extraordinaire, video essayist, up and coming essayist. I love him so much. Like 1.8 thousand views on his view from just 2 days ago. Bro's making big moves at Roro.
Hello. The Tifa Lockhart Association is eating well this week with the release of the Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis mobile game. Now you may think, what's so special about a mobile game? The answer is Tifa Lockhart got a lifeguard skin, and oh boy, she looks good in a lifeguard skin.
Dude,
All my favorite artists drawing.
Overwatch world. No, I'm new to the Overwatch world, but there's lifeguard skins in that game too, and they go pretty crazy. Mercy, yep.
Golly.
You know. Yeah. Am I horny? Yeah. Also, one half of the Men and Gitch podcast. We're still in the introduction. My God. One half of the Men and Gitch podcast, but Battlefield's Bad Boy, Tarkov Teletubby, and my lover, Gage Dempster.
Mon chéri.
Incredible. Thank you. Let's get into it. Thank you to everyone watching us live and participating in the chat. Just as a reminder, we are live each and every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern on YouTube. Just search Podcast PXN. Twitch.tv/Podcast PXN as well simultaneously. Quick housekeeping reminders. It's fall next week. That's it. The topic of the show this week is Nintendo Direct predictions for September 2023, but the show always starts with the quick bite, so let's go ahead and jump right in. Quick bite number 1. Larian, developers of Baldur's Gate 3, are currently working on crossplay between PC and consoles that will eventually come. So I ask, when will PXN all play together? Roll the dice, baby.
When I beat a game? I don't...
Yeah. A game. Have you beaten this? No, you beat RE4.
Yeah. And Dead Space.
Yeah. Yeah. So old games.
Yeah. That's true. I mean, that's actually true. Okay. Frick. Shit. Why am I blanking? Hi-Fi Rush. Yes, thank you, Ro.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Which is what, 5 hours for completionists?
No, it's more than that.
It's about the length of one Halo TV episode.
Yeah. Too long.
Yeah. Next item here, the ESA has confirmed that there will be no 2024 event in Los Angeles with a complete reinvention of the show. This is E3, by the way. Reportedly planned for 2025.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Hold on, Ro. This year's organizer, Reed Pop, will no longer be involved. So there should be a complete overhaul happening. And Jeff Keighley just tweeting away, I'm sure, Summer Game Fest happening though.
He's always on top of that. It's like he knows. He knows something.
He does know something. What does he know?
It's dead.
God. I mean, without Reed Pop, I'm sure it'll have to be a complete reinvention if they do it. But
we've lost our major partnership, so expect a major reinvention as we struggle to survive.
So more sad. Like mid pop.
It is sad. I would like to say I just want to put out there, just for the universe, as I make these jokes, I would prefer E3 still be alive. I would prefer everything happen in one weekend.
Yes,
I think we all would.
Yeah.
But also, you kind of did it to yourself repeatedly, numerous years.
Yeah. Nothing but yeses from me. Our next quick bite is in just for fun, for little giggles. Although not for this guy, I guess. Japanese YouTuber got a suspended jail sentence and a fine for posting game footage. Let me read. I had to read this. This man essentially posted a visual novel on YouTube, and this happened like 3 or 4 years ago. I think it was between 2018 and 2021, so a little while ago. And the argument was that because of copyright law, because visual novels are pretty like passive, you can kind of make the argument that this person is distributing copyrighted material by posting said visual novel, right? And so he was supposed to be jailed, sent to prison for this. And the judge ended up agreeing with saying, like, he didn't mean to upload this with like malicious intent. People are uploading games left and right. This is the modern era, right? With streaming, etc. The judge actually agreed with him and said, "We're going to give you a 2-year prison sentence, but suspended for 5 years, meaning that if he doesn't do this offense again, he won't go to jail."
Right.
And then he was also fined 1 million yen, which is $6,780. So crazy times. Don't upload visual novels to YouTube.
Shout out to that judge, though. It's pretty based.
Absolutely.
Oh my God. Scary.
Next item. The scariest news of all, X-Defiant has failed certification tests from Microsoft and Sony. Too many bugs. I don't know why we're hearing about this. The games don't pass cert all the time. So it's very weird. I don't know why Ubisoft is very open about this one not passing it. That doesn't get me excited also, by the way. Like, I don't want to hear a game is not passing cert. And I saw somebody in the comments saying, like, well, why would Sony and Microsoft approve Cyberpunk? And maybe the answer is at that time, maybe like I think there was less restrictions and they're a lot tighter post Cyberpunk world. So
I think Cyberpunk was the catalyst to make them look at that again.
Mm-hmm. X-Defiant, you got some bugs to kink out.
I think they had a stated release date though. Maybe that's why, because I think this broke through them saying that they have to delay, because of this. So maybe that's why. I don't think Ubisoft would want to announce that they didn't pass cert, but I think that they had a release date that they know they're not going to be able to hit based on the severity of whatever issues they had. But don't worry, guys, this is the new COD killer. Don't worry. I love seeing esports Twitter all over this game every time it pops up, and I'm like, this game's got fucking 3. Yeah. Oh, dude, everybody. There's Halo esports people talking about it. There's COD esports. Again, not everyone, but big voices from each community saying, "Oh, this is it. This is everything we want."
I didn't get it. I played it and I was like, "This feels like a cheap ripoff."
Yep.
I don't get it.
It feels like if Turtle Rock tried to make a Call of Duty game. It's like, okay, like the basic understanding of this concept is here, but this does not feel good at all.
I agree. You know, it does feel good. Forza Motorsport. Technically, it's the 8th Forza, but again, they removed the title, or the number, I guess, from this title because it's how big it is, how long-lasting it's supposed to be. Forza Motorsport had some previews, and they're looking good. This person that I guess Gage follows, Clobrile, with a Conqueror icon, tweeted this long, lengthy thing. And one of the things that I gravitated towards was that Indeed confirmed you actually have 60 frames per second ray tracing in actual gameplay, which I remember when that was announced, the comparison was to Gran Turismo. GT does not have that in there yet, and that's only in replays. So in real time, you can have ray tracing, which is going to make for some visually stunning races. And of course, Forza Motorsport always impresses with their visuals. But again, it's also the physics simulation that is what is the team?
Turn 10.
Turn 10. Yeah.
Turn 10. Yeah. Absolutely going bananas with this. Previews are looking good. I'm not going to break it down here, but everyone is very happy with the way the game is coming out, including Steve Saylor, the blind gamer, who was able to beat a race using a new accessibility mode called Blind Drive Assist. And we love to see the barriers coming down on gaming all the time.
Very cool. And I feel like a lot of the Xbox studios seem to be gearing towards a lot of accessibility stuff, as well as Sony, I think, as well. So I think that's really great. More stuff like that. I'm excited to check this out, but that's about it.
There was a post I thought I saw somewhere of comparison shots between Forza 7 and then this Forza, and like, yeah, this is a gorgeous game, huh?
Yeah. It's been a long time since Forza 7. It's like 6 years old or 7 years old now. Pretty old.
Was it 2018?
Yeah, something like that. Maybe 2017.
Yeah. It's a long time.
2017, yeah. That's insane.
That is 6 years, yeah. 7? Anyway.
Yeah.
8?
All right, enough.
Who do we appreciate?
I
don't know.
I appreciate you, Daniel.
Thank you. Christian has left the show. His hand has joined us.
We got some Switch 2 news, but nothing substantial enough for, I don't know, to make a whole topic of it. Just some more information that we got since last week. Tech demos were indeed shown at Gamescom behind closed doors. We knew that one of the demos they were showing off was the Matrix Unreal demo, which was running in real time on the new Switch hardware and with ray tracing on, I believe, as well. I think maybe some kind of DLSS, supposedly. I'm not sure. I think that's what I heard. But it's looking to be again another sizable. If all these things are true, it's looking to be some impressive hardware, especially from Nintendo's side. They also filed a patent for some smart fluid joysticks. Now, I'm not sure how these work. I'm not tech savvy enough to understand how the magnetism in smart fluid works, but they are meant to curb or completely eliminate any kind of Joy-Con drift. So if the next iteration of Switch hardware continues to use these Joy-Cons and they incorporate this smart fluid, they will not have to worry about any kind of Joy-Con drift in the future, which is good. Stick drift kind of sucks, and it's a thing that's happening on all consoles, and very much so on Nintendo's side. So
I don't know if I like this. This seems like Nintendo doing something proprietary when they could just be jumping on the Hall effect train, which there's no liquid needed at all. It's just I don't know. We'll see.
Gage, we're getting the smart fluid, which is Miyamoto's fluid.
I know, but with the PlayStation fluid, like I don't want to bring my controllers for oil changes. We're getting silly again. This is ridiculous.
Oh, you want batteries, huh?
No, I want Hall effect. It's perfect. It's perfect. Hall effect is beautiful.
In all seriousness, the DLSS thing is a huge deal. Since obviously the Switch uses NVIDIA, they're able to use that, and that's the far better technology. Like the AMD one's nowhere near as good. Yes. So like that is huge. Yeah.
Oh, confirm. Yeah, the demo said to have been running NVIDIA's DLSS upscaling tech. Yep, confirmed. Yeah. All I had to do was click on the article that I shared. Who knew?
Switch 2 is gonna be very exciting. That is gonna be a very exciting time.
Okay, let's just hold off on all this Switch 2 Nintendo discussion until topic of the show. All right? But no, I'm putting a stop to it right here.
That's enough.
Normally, I had Starfield stuff here, but I actually moved it into into news of the week, so we can have a more in-depth conversation on Starfield since Dan was not here last week. So we'll just jump to Bethesda's next game, Elder Scrolls 6. They asked Phil Spencer if Elder Scrolls 6 would be an exclusive title. And long story short, he said, well, it depends. That game is like 5 or 6 years away, and all their games are on a case-by-case basis. But, I mean, come on, you spent all this money buying Bethesda. Very impressive numbers coming out of Starfield, and that's an exclusive title. It helped get that title out with little to no bugs. So, yeah, I'd reckon maybe Elder Scrolls 6 might be an exclusive title. Who knows? No. You're saying
Big L if true. This is the CEO Phil Spencer. Like this is what I mean when sometimes people criticize Phil Spencer, and I also would agree with him talking out of both sides of his mouth, where it's like, I don't know. you're going to be this inclusivity. We want more gamers to experience this, that, and the other. I didn't mind Starfield being exclusive because it's a new IP. There's no precedent set. But if Elder Scrolls is not on other platforms, you have taken that game away from gamers. There's no other way around it. You're not going to be able to politicians speak your way around it. Phil Spencer's trying to build himself a brand of, gamers are for everyone, gamers and all this. If they remove this beloved franchise from a platform that's had it since what? For what, over a decade now? Yeah, I don't know. That doesn't sit right with me. I hope it's not true. I hope Phil Spencer really thinks about that. I'm sure he won't because, again, he's a CEO. He's got to make money. But
what's interesting though, Gage, is like before the Starfield stuff came out, I feel like they were gonna make Elder Scrolls 6 multi-platform because why would they not with how much that sells? Like it's almost like Call of Duty. It's like a big event. It's an Elder Scrolls game.
For sure.
But now after seeing the Starfield numbers, I think you're kind of right. Like I think that Phil's gonna look at that and say, "Fuck, we just sold a bunch more Xboxes by making Starfield an exclusive." He may very well make Elder Scrolls 6 exclusive because of that point. So
I think you're right. Yeah. Which is unfortunate, and I think
I agree.
Goes against his personal brand he's trying to build. But
yeah, we'll see though. I mean,
we'll see.
Maybe he doesn't do it. I don't know.
Maybe he doesn't. In which case, that would be huge.
Yeah.
There's also rumors that Oblivion is being remade. Anyone hear about this?
Well,
I think that's the mod you're thinking of, right? The big modding project by Oblivion.
I don't know. Who knows? I'm just talking out of my ass.
There's nowhere else
talking out of my ass. How about some Assassins Creed Mirage previews, which went up this week? Sorry, I just had to transition somehow. And regrettably, these are looking good. These are looking pretty good. Game will take about 20 hours to beat for completionists, meaning Dan can beat it in about, I don't know, 6 to 8 months.
such a dick.
More bullet points I'm going to read out. Missions, combat, story, and more all took direct inspiration from AC1, minus the teleporting. Stealth is back, eagle vision, instant assassinations, etc. Target's location will not always be marked on the map. Get info by helping people around town or scoping out the area. That is neat. That is the kind of like immersive nature that is very cool, especially for an Assassin's Creed game. Tools are crucial for stealth and combat. You have throwing knives, smoke bombs, etc. Assassinations can be completed in multiple ways or failed altogether. BGC compares one mission to a Hitman trilogy, which is that's very neat. Having that approach to mission is very cool. High praise for the setting of Baghdad. Parkour, corner jumping is back. New pole climbing mechanic. Faster speed overall. I will say, however, I did see footage of Mirage running the parkour, and I still think what is that France game?
Unity.
That one still, I think, is like the peak of what parkour could be in the series. There's been some complaints about controls, which is I haven't seen in much or much of any. More hidden ones involvement, including visiting the Temple of Alamut. Does that mean anything to me? No. Dan, can you make sense of this? Who are the hidden ones?
I don't know, to be honest. And I've played every single one.
I think
that's the Templars.
The Templars are
the hidden ones are the assassins before the assassins.
Got it. Thank you.
I don't know why I know that. I'm not even a really big, a huge Assassin's Creed fan. I fell off after 3, but I do know that. I don't know why.
Combat is more engaging, but still accessible overall. Basim is quicker and more agile with tighter parry windows for an insta-kill. We do love parrying, don't we? I know I do.
It was kind of like the core feature of the franchise until it wasn't.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
That was shit. Yeah.
Assassin's Creed was like a very combat-focused game, and it was satisfying as fuck. And then it was.
That's how I would play. You'd sit there, and then wait for someone to turn, and then just yeah. Oh, that was.
And Assassin's Creed 3, my personal favorite was when they added this thing with double counters, where people would attack you from 2 different angles, and it triggered the special animation. It was fucking awesome.
That was cool. I like Connor.
Connor's fucking badass, dude. Representing.
Terrible character. Terrible.
Dan hates Native Americans, so that's just
no, that's not.
Dan took their land. He built a house on it.
I love Edward Kenway, which is his father. Or wait, yeah, his father.
Loves the white guy.
Yeah.
Right.
Sure.
Edward Kenway. What? He's his father. He birthed him.
But he's the commoner part of his father.
Yeah. Bro, you hearing this?
I'm taking mental notes.
Right. Yeah. He's gonna refrain for comment now. But
guys, we got some insane news this week. Unexpected news, even coming from the Apple event. The iPhone
handheld?
15, something like that. The iPhone 15 Pro will be able to run AAA games natively with hardware ray tracing. There are 4 games currently on the slate to release on iPhone 15. That's Resident Evil Village. That's coming this year. RE4 Remake this year. Death Stranding. That's coming this year. And Assassin's Creed Mirage, which is releasing on iPhone early next year. That is crazy. I personally would not want to play these games on mobile with the interface of the controls blocking all of the screen. But still insane that they can run something like this. Crazy.
I can't wait to play Death Stranding 2 on the Apple iPhone 15, just as Nolan intended. Incredible.
Absolutely.
Incredible.
That's pretty good. That's a pretty good joke.
I completely agree with like not wanting to play these games on a phone in particular with, like you said, the interface and all that kind of stuff, but it doesn't excite me for the future of handheld gaming. If you're able to like play these games on a phone, if you make a system that actually is made for playing games in the palm of your hand, that sounds pretty awesome. That could run Death Stranding. That's awesome. I know the Steam Deck exists and you could do that already, but more options would be cool.
Now, granted, you could always attach a controller to this. They have those as well.
True. Yeah, through Bluetooth and all that. You know what's interesting too is that even for people who don't want to play these games on mobile, it also kind of works as an indirect advertising campaign. Like as people like us who are in the space, like I know for me personally, it's like, oh, this can run it natively through hardware. That's kind of impressive. Like I'm not going to use that, but like that's almost like a makes me kind of think like as a selling point for the phone itself, like hardware wise, you can run this natively. I'm assuming is the phone's native resolution, which is closer to 4K than anything else. So that's kind of impressive.
Yep. More impressive than the Switch 2? Maybe. I don't know. Who knows? Just throwing that thought out there. Switch 2 or iPhone 15. I can only have phone sex on one of them.
True. Which one's got the better camera?
You can only tickle Mario's balls on one of them.
All right, relax.
It's not the Switch.
It's not the Switch.
Right. That's true.
I'm trying to. Never mind. I was gonna make a smart fluid joke. Let's just end on this last quick bite here. Square Enix, Squeenix, if you will, loses nearly $2 billion in value since Final Fantasy 16. Now, Square came out and said that the game sold very well. However, we don't know if it was up to their expectations with the amount sold, right? Square Enix always has insane expectations. Let's be real though, but still, it was an exclusive title. It was released on just PlayStation, and yeah, losing almost $2 billion is absolutely insane. There's a new report that's casting doubt if the company can recover from this, which we posed in our private chat on Twitter, making the way for a possible acquisition in the future from someone. Who knows?
Apparently, they were saying the root of the problem, sources told Bloomberg, is that producers were given quote-unquote full reign over the scope and direction of projects whose goals can shift without warning. The upshot of this volatility, in the quality of the final product. So like we always keep talking about, like the people who aren't making the games kind of get these crazy says in the projects and kind of messing up the creatives and changing schedules and all this kind of stuff. But like Christian said, like the goals that they set out for their game selling are super insane. Like they, in the same breath of them saying Final Fantasy sold fantastically, they also say it didn't meet our expectations. Like, which is it? But,
right.
So it sucks that they're losing so much money, but it does seem that some people within the company are setting themselves up for failure, which kind of sucks.
Yeah, the ball's in your court, FF7 Rebirth. Are you going to save the company?
If anybody can, Tifa can.
Put her in a lifeguard costume.
They already did that.
Watch the sales go up.
But in 4K, yeah. Watch the
True,
sales go up.
true.
Watch the money print. We got a street meet item. This is in relation to the topic of the show for tomorrow. So we're going to say it now. Keep this in mind. F-Zero might be making a return. Might make an appearance at tomorrow's Nintendo Direct. We haven't seen an F-Zero game since the GameCube with F-Zero GX. And personally, I freaking love that game. And this known leaker, Puro, tweeted, "Let's just say fans of a certain MATLAB function will be happy with the upcoming Direct." And so we naturally have to go to this leaker's track record, which thankfully Reset Era did for us. Let's take a look at some of the previous stuff that he's tweeted. Nintendo will announce a new first-party game this week, which is a sequel to a game released in 2017. He tweeted about this in May's Direct. I don't remember what this one was.
First-party game this week, which
was that the 1-2 Switch sequel?
That might have been one. Yeah, it might have been 1-2 Switch. Yes.
That's what people are saying.
Sonic Superstars looks like, and then also, in case you were wondering what games will be announcing this week's Nintendo Direct, a new 2D Super Mario Bros. A remake of an SNES classic. Incredible. So it seems like this guy's got a track record. So if seems like signs are pointing to F-Zero making a comeback for tomorrow. Who knows though? Maybe not, but could be.
If you don't see a new F-Zero, point your hate mail at christianmacias@gmail.com. I hope that's not actually your email. I just made that up.
you nailed it.
Nobody knows my email.
Christian's panicking. That was his email.
I have 4 emails, dude. My first ever email that I still use, by the way, for like spam and stuff. The email was asdarknessfollows@yahoo.com.
That you thought that was rad for such a long time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I made a fake email that I never actually made, and this was for like logging into MySpace. That was Psycho Killer CMB.
I'm
like, yeah. Anyway. Should we get into news of the week?
Let's do it.
Starfield, baby. We got some Starfield news. Of course, the official release was last Wednesday. It was during our show. We got some reports coming out from that day. 1 million concurrent players across all platforms following its general release on Wednesday, according to Xbox Phil Spencer. And then that number actually grew. In the first 24 hours, 6 million players were playing in the game. Yeah, 1 million concurrent, 6 million, all booting up Starfield to explore the stars on Wednesday, September 6th. Also got a look at some post-launch plans. This comes from Synth Potato. Bethesda confirming post-launch plans for Starfield, including city maps. Thank God. People were complaining about that one.
Yeah.
And saying that this wasn't at launch, but still. DLSS support. Another thank God. Again, AMD was the official, I guess, partner for Starfield. So no NVIDIA partnership to do DLSS until now. So you don't need, hopefully you won't need mods for this. An FOV slider on console as well. Brightness and HDR calibration. An eat button with looking at food, which is a big thank God for me as well. I hate picking up food and then having to search through it in my inventory to fucking eat it. Official mod support confirmed for early 2024, and then years of support improvements confirmed following. Very exciting. I mean, the game is very good just off the bat on release, like very impressive. Especially physics wise, is like crazy. You're seeing videos of potatoes and cheeses and milk cartons all across the galaxy doing crazy stuff. So small improvements like this are only going to make the game better as the days, months, weeks, years go by.
Christian, hurry up! I want to go play it. I haven't even played it yet.
At all? I thought you did.
No, I haven't. No, I left literally the day that. Remember, my collector's edition was coming on Friday, and I left.
Right, you had to wait for it to ship because
Exactly.
it ships on the release date, right?
Yeah, so I literally haven't touched it.
So wait, is it there now? Do you have it with you?
I have it. I haven't even unboxed it yet. It's
So are we doing a live
Unbox
PXN
it
unboxing?
right now.
You want me to live unbox it?
Yes, we want you to live unbox it. I want to live vicariously through you because I want that thing so bad.
We're doing it.
I've been playing Starfield, man. You can't hear me, but I've been playing it.
How
Can
do
I-
you? Oh,
Can I just say this is part of the Bethesda charm that the viral clips of this game is stuff like meats and cheeses and potatoes, right? Like not a lot of like not that it's a selling point or that should get anybody excited, but I think it's something to note that it's like Bethesda has this weird effect where people are like, "Oh, cool! Look, like
all the
nobody's
cheese."
sharing exactly, right? Yeah,
How this is gonna work? This is gonna work terribly.
it's gonna work
Right here.
beautifully."
Okay.
Don't
got a-
dox yourself.
brown box.
Brown paper.
Now it's a white box. Very diverse.
Nice. Real.
There's the box, and they put a fucking sticker right here to cover up the logo. Brilliant.
This guy's getting angry. You can't remove it? The sticker?
I mean,
That's not the box you're keeping, Dan. Get to the good part.
I'm working on it.
All right. Later in the chat, when Dan finally boots up this game, let's all share our like characters and our like starting traits or whatever in our backgrounds.
Sure.
I named my character Christian.
Nice.
Nice. I named my character
Oh,
Gilbo.
Now, here's the thing.
Gilbo.
I have to be careful because something on here has my code printed on it, and I can't remember what one of the items. Oh, it's the. So you can't
It's the
see
one
it.
that looks like the in-game credits. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's my.
Could you
Cover
show
it. You have
everybody?
to show it though, because it's cool. Like,
Yeah, show the
Christian
camera.
will
Hang
appreciate.
on, let me just make sure.
Yeah.
It's really cool that they did that,
All
and
right.
it's not just on a piece of paper.
So this is the thing, and on the other side, the code's printed.
Oh, that's
For
sick.
the game?
Yes.
Well, that's
Yeah.
really cool.
That's like
Yeah.
what the currency looks like in the game, 1-to-1. Yeah.
What
If
if
you're
you
not
got,
going
like,
to
a
give us a
misprint?
desk, at least give us a cool thing like that.
Oh shit.
Right.
That's really cool. The steel
No
case
way.
has the slot for it.
That's
So you
There we go.
literally just
That's
fits
pretty
right
cool.
in there. That's really cool. I think this
So
is
they
a,
could've-
I'm assuming this is a special number here too for what number it. This is just a
4206969.
activate your game. Okay. Yeah, exactly, Chris. You got it spot on. Oh, this is the best part. This is space styrofoam right here. Space styrofoam.
Is this the one that comes with the watch?
Yes. Oh my
Neat.
god.
Are
This
you
is
gonna
actually,
wear it?
This is yeah.
the
maybe.
box is my favorite part.
This
That's
is actually pretty weighty. I wasn't expecting how weighty this is. Because a lot of people were pissed off about their fucking their Fallout 76 collector's edition because the bag was like a fucking nylon bag and they said it was gonna be a super nice, like high-end bag.
canvas
Oh, I
bag.
remember
Yeah.
Canvas bag, yeah.
That was fun. That was
But-
good time.
Yeah, this is actually a lot weightier than I thought. How do I unlatch?
Okay, wait. Once you figure out how to open it, you got to do the opening
Okay.
mechanism on the camera. That's
All
the
right.
money shot for me.
So this, here it is. Can you see that?
Yep.
So you pull this down, you turn,
Oh,
and then it opens up
oh, there it is.
to the watch and the patch. Whatever this is. Chrono mark. What that? I guess this is for the watch to charge it. And a charging cable.
I think it's you have to send it to Portland, Oregon, and then
Really, that must be it. I mean, and then the watch. Strap.
Wristband.
Yeah.
Cool.
I don't think.
Apparently, it's a legit smartwatch too. I'm sure it's not like going to be a super great quality one, but apparently it is like a proper standalone smartwatch that you pair with your phone, which is kind of neat.
Holy
that's
shit!
nice.
This foam is actually nice. This is like squishy. It's almost like that those styrofoam balls that you squish in your hand. It's like that. You know what
I
I'm talking
love
about.
styrofoam
Or
testicles.
not
Yeah, you gotta-
styrofoam.
you gotta get
not,
that-
sorry,
Gotta get that smart fluid out, huh?
not styrofoam. I
Oh.
mean foam.
Oh,
They're
that's
squishy. Yeah,
Oh,
that's the
man.
part that
Oh.
yeah.
Yeah, you know those
I'm gonna
styrofoam
foam-
balls you squish in your hand? It's just Dan making a mess all over his fucking counter.
Oh my God.
Man, this is cool.
It's awesome. I'm very jealous. I really want it. There's somebody selling one in my area for like near retail. I'm debating it, but
Damn. Very
I
cool.
wonder if Dan will play today since he like was up since 5 a.m.
It's gonna be a struggle because I still have to like my car's still not unpacked. All my shit's in my car. Like I'm not kidding when I said I was here 10 minutes after I got here. So yeah, probably not. I'll probably pass out.
That's crazy. You're like a proper adult now, huh? It wouldn't be me. If I got back and I was sleep deprived, I'd be like, all right, guys, turn the booter up.
Problem is I have no clothes. I don't know, like literally I had to pack fucking like 15 days of clothes, and so like I have like no clothes now.
And
Clean.
Starfield does not require you to be clothed even a little bit.
That's true.
I mean,
You could be Buck. You and Buck could be both Buck.
Oh, no Buck today. Buck is probably still with house wherever he's being house at or dog sat.
Yeah, actually, they sent
Grandparents, I
me.
would assume.
No, my cousin and his fiance are watching him. I don't know if you'll be able to see this or not. They sent me this picture in the middle of the week. She's literally like cuddling him. I don't know if you
Is she cradling him like a baby?
Yeah.
That's what a suck.
Yeah, he's getting.
Also, I don't know if I'm the only one realizing this, but shout out to Buck. I feel like for the past like 30 episodes, he hasn't even made a peep during the show. It used to be a thing, right? It used to be a thing, and now for the longest time he hasn't. So Buck's a real one.
Good dog.
Yeah.
He's the goodest boy.
Good dog. And that's your Starfield news for the week.
Wait. Before we move on from Starfield, Christian, are we getting what is your take so far? You're 4 or 5 hours in.
Sure. Why don't we do that in what you got for me later?
Oh, okay, sir. Yeah, why don't we do that?
Until then, another news item. State of Play was also announced for tomorrow at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern. It's about 26 minutes long, focusing on third parties, updates to previously announced games from third parties, indie games, and as well as PSVR 2 highlights. And my main question here is, will we finally see a Stellar Blade release date? I know Ro tweeted about this as well, and that's I'm waiting for it. I'm hoping.
Me too.
I want it.
Me too.
I don't know if I have any expectations beyond Stellar Blade for me personally.
Yeah, I kind of. Me too. It's kind of where my brain started and stopped when I saw the announcement. But yeah, I'm happy that. I mean, it'll be a pretty exciting day tomorrow. We have another topic of the show later, but yeah, it's cool.
Yeah,
games.
You might see stuff like The Last Ronin, maybe just some smaller titles, a lot of Japanese, Chinese games. But other than that, yeah, I'm not sure what I'm expecting from this. Expectations set to nothing.
It's a good place to be.
Mm-hmm. The biggest news of the week happened yesterday. Unity single-handedly disrupting the entire video games industry and likely a lot of developers' livelihood because their update to whatever they're doing could bankrupt several people. And I'm not even joking. That is like this is insane what they are doing. Initially, Unity came out and they said they will begin charging a royalty fee based on the number of times a game was installed. This would begin to roll out January 1st, 2024. And there are different thresholds that they put out the chart, but the base one that was going around, like the first one is 20 cents per install. So run the math on like if you're having like thousands of installs, suddenly you're expecting to pay back more money than you probably even have, especially if your game is free or costs even like as low as $10. This could be a big burden on you. Some clarification rolled out hours later from Unity, saying that reinstalls would count as an install and is eligible for a fee. Meaning, if you downloaded a game, deleted it, and installed it again, that'd be 2 installs. The same as if you had software installed on another device. So if your game is it was a cross buy, I download on my PC and then on an Xbox.
Starfield, for example.
Starfield, that would be 2 installs. And would be 40 cents now, right? Also, there was like different like people were obviously like replying to this, and somebody asked like, how do you track installs. And Unity responded by saying that they use a proprietary data model to track installs. It essentially only gives them an estimate of the number of times a project is installed, not an actual number, which meant you just have to trust that their numbers are accurate, right? Charity games and bundles were going to be exempted from fees. This sent the entire games industry yesterday ablaze. People were like, developers and teams like AgroCrab were tweeting about how, like, they might have to cancel their game on Unity. They may have to go back years of work to switch to a different software. Unity later in the day eventually regrouped and they backpedaled a bit and saying only the initial installs will count, which again is still not good. Charging people to it's still not good. Demos most likely won't trigger fees, whatever that means. Devs, by the way, are not on the hook for Game Pass, which means that publishers are the ones having to pay those fees, which means like if your game uses Unity and it's on Game Pass, Microsoft is the one having to foot the bill. And I reckon publishers are not going to be happy about that either. A class action lawsuit from developers is in the works. And then Unity tweeted again 2 hours ago. I shared the wrong thing in that final thing, but essentially they wanted to acknowledge the confusion and frustration, but they're not changing anything. The most what I just said is pretty much the most up to date from Unity, and it's not good. It's not good.
Which very bad. No, this was crazy to follow in real time because as the clarifications kept coming in, it got worse. And
yes,
like I remember seeing the initial barrage and like. I was like, okay, something got lost in translation. There's no way they're doing this. Everybody's freaking out. And then as I looked into it more and more, and as the clarifications started coming through, I was like, holy fuck, they're actually trying to do this. And I would just like to point out, the CEO of Unity sold 2,000 shares 5 days right before this announcement. I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure it's just a coincidence. Yeah. Fine, white collar people, it's just wanted to point that out there. This is absolutely ridiculous. And also, I don't know. Yeah, talking about creating strife between publishers and developers, right? Even their little sort of, oh, well, don't worry, it'll be the publishers when it comes to stuff like Game Pass. It's like, okay, well, now if a developer is like trying to decide whether or not it needs to get put on Game Pass, maybe that's the way to breathe life into its game, and its publisher doesn't want to now because this is just bad from every angle. And like, it's funny, we were making jokes like a few months back about like how incredible Unreal was, and if we'd want everybody to switch to Unreal, and the pros and cons of a supposed monopoly like that. I've never seen a competitor shovel just swaths of people to its rival as quickly as Unity just has. Because man, Unreal has been selling a case for itself just on its own features, and then now this, man, I think we're going to be seeing a lot more made in Unreal over the next 3 to 4 years.
I did see that one of the reasons why people are guessing they're doing something like this is because the most popular games made in Unity are like games like Genshin, which is absolutely massive worldwide. Marvel Snap, I think, is on there. Some kind of Pokemon game is on there as well. So like these games are getting thousands of downloads, millions even, and so they're looking to make some bank off of these games. And then I also found out the CEO, beyond what Gage just said, is the same CEO that was running EA. Back when the articles were coming out like being the worst place to live. I didn't know until this week that this man was thinking about charging Battlefield users $1 to reload their guns. Like that was a real thought this man had.
That's insane. Also,
do you imagine
back to your proprietary stuff? When people developers a lot of non-answers, even in the clarifications, even the most recent clarifications, like you were saying with like, oh, that shouldn't trigger it. People were asking, what about pirating stuff? And they're like, well, don't worry. We have our own proprietary tech that determines this. We can't tell you what it is, but it's mostly pretty accurate. Yeah. And like, I'm paraphrasing, but they did specifically use the word like mostly or not quite or something like that, where it's like, you can't even tell people for sure whether or not your own tech will actually do the job. Shouldn't trigger fees or should catch piracy. Like, this is just bad from every angle. My God, this smells rotten.
People were also asking. Oh, go ahead, Dan.
I was just gonna say, in the Game Pass route, like, or any subscription service, they're acting like, oh, well, the publishers will have to pay, the devs won't have to pay. Well, it's still gonna affect the devs when the publishers say, well, I'm not gonna put your game on fucking Game Pass because I'm not paying Unity for their their little fee. So, yeah.
Absolutely, the publishers are gonna be like, "What do I care about your exposure? I don't want to pay for it."
Right.
Luckily, they backtracked on. Oh, go ahead, Ro.
No, I think we already touched on it. I was just saying that there's a bunch of indie devs that, like, not only Aggro Crab, but so many, like, as of 4 hours ago was the most recent one that I saw from a game called Amber's Tale that's just saying, like, our primary mission is to inspire and support the engineering of the game, saying that we may have to change course now because of Unity's thing. And these guys, like we mentioned, these guys are in the middle of their development using Unity. Now they may have to delay their game even further. And that costs them money too, to delay their game. And instead of just putting it out, they've already been working this long, already been spending money. And now they may have to spend even more to later on recoup the costs from Unity, which is crazy.
Insane.
On the proprietary thing, back when we were thinking that reinstalls would also charge, like people were asking Unity, like how are you going to handle install bombing? Instead of, like, if you don't like a game, you don't have to review bomb. You can install bomb, and suddenly, like, and they were like, oh, we have like an anti-fraudulent like detector, and like, but and that's like partially machine driven. That's like going to be difficult to detect that kind of thing. But yeah, luckily they did backtrack. The only real thing that they can do is just go back completely. Do none of this, because any minor thing is still not a good thing. Because all of this is just bad from like the developer side. And I'm reminded of an article that came out this week that was titled "This is the worst year in gaming," and it's not because of the games coming out, but it's because everything that's happening on the developer side and the studio side of closings, acquisitions, layoffs, what have you. And
precedents are being set.
Yeah, dude. Absolutely. For the sake of time, we're going to move on. Oh, okay. Ro, please.
There's one developer from Aggro Crab, Nick Kamen. He made a tweet like an hour ago. He said, just got off a call with Unity. The reps were really nice folks, but ultimately didn't say anything that gives us confidence that the company is to be trusted. A lot of the answers boil down to, quote, you can work with your account manager to iron things out. Man, I just want a clear policy. And that's from one of the devs that Christians just mentioned. So they're trying to talk with them, but it seems like they are not really giving any good answers.
Right.
Can you imagine having to, like, be a developer and having to make the decision between, do we release on Unity, we're this far in, or do we, like, take years of work to learn a new engine?
So, like, that's the thing. You're not transitioning from one engine version to another. Like, these are complete rivals where a lot of the plugins and stuff that you've that might not be able to just transfer over one-to-one. You will have to, even if you know the equation in your head, like, you'll have to re-put it in using the system that's, it's a nightmare. I honestly can't believe it. This is like, it's weird because it's a huge story and a small story at the same time, in terms of, like, the average consumer is not going to know anything about this. It's not really going to make headlines in that way, but it is such a monstrously bad decision. Like, I don't know. This is crazy.
Awful. This is absolutely awful. For the second time, we're moving on into our fantasy draft check-in. We had last week there was 2 pickups. This week there are 2 reviews.
What were they last week?
Ro picked up a game, and that was...
It was... What was it? 1 second. It was...
Okay, well, I can just tell you mine. Okay, go ahead.
It was Wizard with a Gun, I think.
Oh, okay.
$4. And then I picked up Jusant for $4.
All right.
This week we have 2 reviews coming out. Smaller title here. Mine is from... I didn't know. I thought Gage had this for some reason. Lies of P, the Souls-like Pinocchio game. This came out to, surprisingly, some very good reviews. So this is good for me. When I found out 3 minutes ago, I picked it up. So 82 average on OpenCritic. I think Metacritic was like 84, so just slightly higher. But still very good. A lot of people, like Timur, who I respect a lot, who is very vocal about his love for From Software, but more specifically criticizing a lot of Souls-likes for not being as good as From Software games, coming out and saying like, "Hey, I don't like a lot of Souls-like games, but Lies of P plays really well." I still didn't like it when I played the demo, but I'm glad others are finding their fun. You know, IGN gave it an 8. I think Game Informer was a 9.5, which is crazy. And then some reviews down in the 7s. So somewhere between like 7 and 8 is mostly where those are landing. And also, Ed Boon's new game, Mortal Kombat 1, coming out with an impressive 86 OpenCritic score. I think Dan has this one.
Yes. Now there's only a few critics that have scored it thus far. A lot of people still have it reviewed in progress, like IGN. So there's still a lot more scores to come.
We'll see. Rose got.
Sorry,
visitors.
1 sec. Yeah, 1 sec.
We'll see.
So much.
Yeah, we'll see next week though. If the scores go up or down, Dan.
Yes.
What's in our purview here? What's on the horizon? Any other games coming out this month?
Not Zero Dawn, right? Horizon.
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 Right.
Get it. Sorry.
Cyberpunk, Phantom Liberty from Gage next week.
Cookie
Huge
Cutter?
Phantom Liberty.
It says summer
And that's
2023.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, fall starts the 22nd, so it better release soon. Anyway.
When's
All right.
Cookie Cutter coming out, Ro?
Oh God, I don't remember. I don't think it has a release date yet, does it?
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
Hey, maybe we'll find out one of these directs tomorrow.
Yeah. I mean, they did a like a preview at this. IGN had this like horror games fest.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and they showed it off there.
How did I fucking forget to mention that journalists went down to LA this week to play Spider-Man 2?
Hmm.
Right. Today.
So preview.
Was it this week or today?
That was this week, which means that previews I think of that are going up Friday. I think, if I remember correctly, of their experience playing it. Insane that they're doing a preview for this game at all. I don't remember previews for this happening for any of the other Insomniacs games where they're flying out developers to play it. Like aside from like an actual like event where Spider-Man is available to play.
Mm-hmm.
Behind closed doors, I got to play Spider-Man 2 for like this amount of time. I don't think they've done something like that before, at least for an Insomniac game, which means they have a lot of confidence in their title, which means this game might be more impressive than I should be more excited for it. Is my thing.
Do you want the pessimist take?
Yeah, go for it, please.
Sony, way above Insomniac. Sony is not happy with their numbers, and as a company, and they really need a big sale, and they're trying to hype this game up quite a bit. Because like Spider-Man 2 is going to be good. I think it's going to be better than Spider-Man 1, but like we've seen the gameplay, right? Like it's more Spider-Man. It's more better Spider-Man.
That's an L take.
I'm sorry. I'm just saying this seems weird. It seems weird for this to be the game that Insomniac's like, you know what? We're gonna fly all these people out here. I don't know. To me, it smells like generating buzz, trying to get those sales numbers up.
We've seen the gameplay, and there's like literally Spider-Man flying around. You know what I mean?
It looks incredible. It looks great.
Oh, you and me. Give me a high five.
Thank you. They just wanted to spread that 19 inches of venom around, man.
Dan,
Oh yeah,
I'm on board too. Yeah.
This is gonna be great. This is gonna be great. It's gonna be Spider-Man 2. It's not gonna be fucking Red Dead. I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Well, obviously not, because nothing's Red Dead.
True. Very true.
Yeah, Starfield's not Red Dead. No.
I think Starfield's closer to Red Dead than Spider-Man 2. There we go. That's the soundbite. That's the soundbite.
Spider-Man 2 isn't even out, dude.
That's fair.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Dan, I'd ask what you got for me, but you were on vacation, didn't play anything.
Not really. I played a tiny bit of Zelda in the car, but
hold on. We do have something we can ask Daniel while he was away, because he did have an assignment. So, what you got for me? How many girls did you smile at?
Oh,
did you smile at any girls?
You had one fucking job. You had one job.
Probably somewhere in there from 0 to 100.
I bet you at least 6 girls smiled at you too, but you were too busy not looking back.
Hey, as a fellow nervous man, Dan, I don't blame you.
Yeah.
Anyway, bro, I'd ask you what you were playing, but you're pretty open on Twitter about how you're not playing anything. So,
yeah, I haven't played anything.
So I guess that leaves me and then Gage. I know what Gage is playing. Oh, that's right. I forgot about this. I can't.
You're
wait.
going
Okay.
first. You're going first. I want to hear.
I'll
your
go first. I'll
Starfield.
go first. So again, obviously, been playing more Overwatch with my lady, and that's always fun. I beat Armored Core 6: Fires of Rubicon, and let me tell you, I still feel I've beat it, and then continued to watch tips on playing the game the day after, which means like I am for sure going back for New Game Plus and New Game Plus Plus because there's an alternate ending and then a true ending that you get. And we got a good game. I gave it a 4.5 out of 5 on Backlogged, and I ranked it in my top 5 of From Software games at number 5. It was a very impressive game. Still so much fun, and I probably plan on going back before the year ends. But beating Armored Core allowed me to download this little Game Pass game. This little Game Pass game from Bethesda, Starfield. And when did I start it? I think Monday night is when I started it. Gosh, it must have been like at 11 p.m. And I made my character, was a little bit underwhelmed with the character creation. I was hoping for a bit more. For what it was fine. Also, I wanted a bit more ambiance. I'm just nitpicking stuff. I'm throwing my nitpicks out now because Gage just played it. I would have liked ambiance there. Like it was kind of quiet in the character creation. So my first hour with Starfield was just like me in this like dark room, like with like no noise.
This bright white screen reflecting on you.
Exactly. So you can imagine what I like. That was my experience, and then I played a little bit, and then last night, and I sent this in a VM to PXN as well. Last night I did like the first like actual main campaign mission. I won't say what it is, but it takes a little while. And by the end of my play session, it was like I looked over my clock. It was midnight 30, and I was like, man, I gotta go to bed because I have work tomorrow. I almost at school. Work tomorrow, and I found myself being like, I could see myself like staying up longer. I could keep going. Like this is kind of fun. Is the game perfect? No, I think there's a lot of loading screens in between like planets and docking and what have you. I'm also not loving the dialogue options that I'm given. That's just like a personal preference with like RPGs. I also like to hear my character voice when I pick an option. That's just not the kind of game that Bethesda makes. But the actual minute-to-minute gameplay when I'm like in third person, on like a lower gravity planet, like on Mars or whatever, is great. When I'm when I'm like in the actual game, like shooting and moving stuff in my inventory and getting like looting bodies like mid fight and like doing little challenges, like boost during combat. Like, no, this is good. This I'm having a lot of fun. And 4 to 5 hours in, so far, I think people are saying how like it takes a while for you to kind of fall in love with a game and be like, no, I'm actually in. This early on, I can tell like, no, I'm probably in it for the long haul. I'm having fun enough with the mechanics that as a first time Bethesda player, to be honest, because I never beat Oblivion, never beat Skyrim. This has the juice for me to be a fun experience for a 20 to 30 hour campaign. I think I'm in.
It has the juice.
I don't know what Dan is saying.
I don't know what he's saying either. That's exciting to me though. You're actually feeling more positive on it earlier than I was. There's a specific mission. I'm not going to spoil anything, but there's a planet you go to that's very much like cyberpunk inspired. It's called Neon. And there's a mission that takes you there, and there's like a set piece moment that happens at the end of the mission. To me, that's when I got really hooked in the story and actually started like okay, I want to see where this goes next. And that's not for me. That wasn't until like at least 10 hours in. So that's cool to see that you're vibing with it, because you're vibing with it sooner than I was.
The thing for me is like that first hour, the character creation, I spent my whole time reading all the text written for all the traits and the background, because I felt myself like if I'm going to do it, I'm going to immerse myself in this character that I'm doing. Right, this morally gray space explorer who like eventually like in my head canon is like builds a kind of like empathy or whatever, like leans towards like positive or whatever, morally good, I guess. And I don't know, like the kind of it's an RPG, you want to immerse yourself in this kind of world. I'm already doing it, like getting on that ship and like taking my time to walk through and inspect all the objects and pull up my scanner and kind of open up the little workbenches and read stuff. I'm like, I'm kind of in on this already. Is it a lot? Yes.
Yes.
when I open up the settings and then go to like help to try to read something that I missed, I'm like, I'm not finding this anywhere because literally everything it's a whole fucking book that I have in front of me.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know, man. Something about the vibes, like Gage was saying last week, you were trying to see if I would like the vibes. They kind of hit, you know?
It's interesting.
I do kind of agree with the critics that were saying like the game starts a bit too fast. Sorry, Dan, I won't say much. The game starts a bit too fast to kind of throw you into the world.
Yep.
And I agree. It does happen very fast. But like, honestly, why not? You know, now that I'm actually in it, it's like, oh, you know what? I'm in the actual game now. And that's cool. And I'm enjoying like taking my little photo mode pictures and it pops up every now and then on my loading screen and I'm getting my new gear and like I'm already seeing the gameplay loop and it's cool. Also going to that first place where like Constellation is at, it's like, this is visually impressive. Like this whole world. You know, someone ran up to me like, "Hey, I need help." Like, you know, like there's like a news place that like wants to interview you, and I stopped somewhere else, and somebody's talking about like how they don't have like a visa to like land on the planet. And I'm like, "Oh, I'll help you." I'm like, "Oh, I'm kind of in on this already." I'm going in my mission tabs, and like this, I see the gameplay loop, so I'm excited to get back to it.
Yeah, I will say specifically, I think, in the earlier hours, so the dialogue, I think that by the next time we check in with you and however far along, I think you will change that because the dialogue options again, I don't know when I started noticing it, but they do at a certain point. I was like, these dialogue options are really impressive. Like there's a lot and it depends on which traits you pick. So this won't mean anything to anyone except for Dan, but like I very much made an Amos character where I was like, I'm going to be this kind of like opposite of what Christian's saying, like this kind of like morally somewhat bad leaning character kind of. And there's a starter trait. I think it's called a starter trait where you can pick where it's like neon street rat. Like you grew up on the streets of Neon, the slums and all that.
Yeah.
When you get to there and there's like there's unique options you can pick only when you have that trait. And the way people respond to you is completely different. Like I was like, this is that
That's
Bethesda feeling that I know. And then aside from that, the skills that you actually pick, like I don't know if you've come across that already, but say like if you have like a science skill, you'll be talking to somebody about like, oh, my ship's engines are bloody blah. And then there'll be a dialogue option there that will not show for somebody who doesn't have that skill, but it'll give you the option to say like, oh, just turn the flux capacitor to the right and you're good. And the guy's like, oh, thanks, you helped me. So like that's like the Bethesda magic. And like I find that opens up when you get into the what is Dan doing? I've tried to
I was trying to get Ro to play rock, paper, scissors with me.
Me and Gage are having a real conversation.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
Please. No, it's just a video game podcast. No, but yeah, I think once you get closer to the a lot of that stuff will open up. And like totally fair because I feel like it's just subjective opinion on like the voice protagonist, but Bethesda tried that with Fallout 4 and it was kind of unanimous that people were like, we'd rather have the options because it just what it ended up being was like your Mass Effect kind of like happy yes, angry yes, you know, and then the other versions of that where it's like it was very basic. So I personally am happy that they reverted back to that because that was one of the complaints I had with Fallout 4. I would rather have 6 or 7 options than just like your standard 3 or 4 if it was voice. So, but I love that you're into it and like. I'm guessing you haven't even like cracked the surface of like the shipbuilding stuff where you can like customize and build your own ships.
And I will not be doing that. I will be buying my ships and moving on with the rest of my life. I'm not going to spend time building a ship. No.
Even if you just look up like something from like a show that you watch and then you just follow the guy that somebody built. I don't know, man. It's part of the charm. It's so cool.
It's got to pop up on Twitter for me to like maybe do it.
Right, because that's the one thing that makes up for the fact that you can't fly in and out of planets. You get that little cutscene that triggers. So when you have your own ship and like that music hits and you're watching this thing that you created take off and fly, I mean that's part of it, man.
The only thing I don't know if I like the digipick system.
I really like it, really, eh?
Like if you want to retry it, it costs 1. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna waste a pick, which I guess makes sense, but like I don't know.
So I wonder if you're falling into the same trap I did. I was talking to Brandon, who friend of the show, also the other half of Men and Gitch. We were gushing about this game while we were playing it on Discord, and I too was complaining about this, and I was like, man, I just burned through like 6 digipits. He's like, I just back out and restart. And I was like, well, yeah, that makes sense, I guess, because then you're just using the 1 digipick.
But doesn't it cost you when you leave it? Like,
yeah, it costs the 1, but if you're undoing, okay, I thought you were talking about undoing. See, that's what I was doing. I was just undoing each one and like costing myself like 3 or 4 digipicks in one go.
Back out, yeah.
Right, yeah.
Okay. Starfield. Look forward to playing the rest of it.
We're all into the Starfield.
Gage, what you got for me? Tell me about this.
All right. I went to the theaters. The missus and we went to go on a little date night. We didn't really know what to look at and what to go, so we just decided on going to see Gran Turismo based on a true story. And guess what, boys? It's a fucking good movie. It's actually a good movie. And the one thing, Christian strategically left because he knows that he's not going to agree with me. The one thing that I was actually surprised about and that I was not expecting, because again, we were just kind of like, we want to go to the movies. What movie's playing? All right, cool. We'll go see this. She actually decided, she chose it. And I was like, cool, we'll go see it, whatever. The one thing I was surprised about, and a little bit, it's in the eye of the beholder, very little cringe. Neil Blomkamp, for his faults in this movie, takes racing seriously. This seems like a movie that, like, I don't know anything about race car drivers or about all this stuff. This seems like one of those movies, kind of like Deepwater Horizon, where the people in that field would probably really appreciate this movie. The attention to detail. Dude, it's a good movie. It's actually a good movie. If you look at the Rotten Tomatoes right now, the critic score, Dan, that's actually, wow. Did you see it too, Dan?
What's that?
They did that in the movie.
They did that in the movie. I will just say this. If you look at the Rotten Tomatoes score right now, the critic score is like 60%, I think, and the audience score is like the audience score is like 98%. Definitely leaning towards audience score on this one. It's nowhere near 98%. I would probably give it like a 78, probably. I think is a fair rating. Yeah. It's a good movie. It is a good movie. It treats it with respect. The subject matter. And also, I was surprised at how one-to-one his story was. I looked it up afterwards. I was like, there's no way. They must have embellished that a little bit. And there's specifically a set piece where the main character gets in a crash. And, like, I watched the clip, and it was kind of, like, a little bit eerie. Because I was like, oh, they just CGI'd exactly how it happened, like, bit for bit. That's kind of crazy. The one thing that Neil Blomkamp does this a lot, the main problem I have with this movie is that around 80% of the way through the movie, it felt like it was going to end on this really unique, emotional kind of beat, and I was like, wow, this is like, I've never seen a movie like this end like this. This is kind of cool. And then it wasn't. There was like another 30 minutes after that movie, and I was like, okay, that would have been really, really. I think that would have jumped up a full letter grade in terms of critic reviews if it had ended where I thought it was going to end for a second there. Performances are really good. It was good. It was actually a good movie, better than it was made out to be.
I'll be the judge of that. All right.
Okay. Watch it at home. You know what? Put your headphones on. Just watch it. And you know what? You'll be surprised. I think you'll be surprised.
I won't be able to get it on the 7Cs though, because I broke my MacBook last week. The screen. I dropped my phone on my screen, and the screen does not work. So I'll have to wait.
Phone on
on my MacBook.
Oh.
The laptop.
Yeah.
And the screen like cracked, and it went black. So the computer works, the screen does not. So I'll have to wait till it's like I can rent it for cheap, like $3 max.
$3
max. $5 maybe. $5 I'll give this movie.
I felt it was worth the price of the ticket, to be honest. Also, oh fuck, I meant to look up his name for this specific. Like, I got to the movie theater and I was like, I need to look up this name. 1 second.
You talking about the actor? It's gonna be Archie.
No. Imon Honsu, I believe is his name.
Gotcha. Okay. Yes.
Very, very little screen time, but it was a performance. Like, he's got maybe five or 6 minutes of total screen time. But his performance was one of the ones where I was like, I wonder if sometimes actors have a personal connection to like some part of the story. Because again, this man is only on screen for 5 minutes. This is not a reason to go see the movie. This is not me trying to sell you on it. But I was like, some of his scenes, I was like, I could see this in like a Oscar sizzle reel. Like, he really gave it, and I was like, this is really endearing and kind of, I don't know. Yeah, he plays the main character's father, and like, again, very little screen time, but really kind of like, it made me think about it in the movie. I was like, I wonder if there's a parallel here with something that he had with his own son, maybe or something like that, because he was really in it, and it caught me off guard.
Age when actors do their job.
No, there's
no way. He's acting.
You're such a piece of shit.
When the title card came up, if there was a title card, did it also say based on a true story below Gran Turismo in the actual movie?
No, it didn't.
No,
it didn't. This is one of those weird live die repeat things where I don't know if it's actually the title of the thing or if it's just. Yeah, it's definitely but it also wasn't originally. It was just Gran Turismo originally, and then it seems like leading up to going into theaters, and in theaters it was based on a true story, and then now when you actually go to see the movie, it's not. So I don't know.
Interesting.
But surprisingly, very little cringe. The cinematography is great, and the movie's too long.
Epic.
7.5.
The show is going to be too long if we don't hurry up and get into our topic of the show, which is our Nintendo Direct predictions for September 2023. Of course, Nintendo usually does a huge September Direct, usually from 40 minutes to an hour. Confirmed tomorrow at 7 a.m. because everyone loves doing stuff on Thursdays now. You know, the day after PXN. Dan,
what?
Why don't you pay attention, Mr. Sleepy Man?
Yeah.
It is very cool, though. It is very cool. But pay attention.
I know.
Yeah, it is cool.
Trying to stay awake.
Yeah. Tomorrow in the morning, I'll be asleep during this 7 a.m. Direct. 40 minutes of information focused on Nintendo Switch games releasing this winter. And of course, winter is through the rest of the year, holiday into, I would assume, like January, February of 2024. I'm not expecting everyone to bring like numbered stuff. One or two things that you're expecting out of this Direct. One maybe a reasonable one maybe that's kind of out there. And I can start because let me just tell you right now, my number one thing that I'm expecting out of this is a Silksong update. Now I know Unity just had their big thing. We don't know if it's actually coming out this year. Inshallah it does. Silksong is here. It's releasing in December of 2023. We need a date. It's time. Please. Team Cherry. Mwah.
Fingers crossed. But you know what they say.
Is that on
what?
Hollow Knight.
What did they say?
I don't know. They just don't. They're just. I don't know. Are you? I hope it happens. I guess that's what I wanted to say. It's just at this point I'm like, I'll believe it obviously we'll believe it when we see it, but I feel like we've had so many.
I'll believe it when I see it. Yeah, bro. That's how that works.
I know. That's how it works. Right. I don't know. I hope it tomorrow is the actual day. I don't know.
All right. Well, then what do you have then? You got anything?
Nothing too crazy, honestly. I'm kind of going off of the Pyro guy's leaks because we talked about how good his track record has been so far. And there's more than likely going to be a Mario versus Donkey Kong Minis game, which is like a DS game getting remade. So I'm assuming that is true. But out of my own brain, I can see an update on the Princess Peach game. Getting more information on that because they didn't give any information last time. And Splatoon 3, the DLC. There's a DLC called Side Order that they didn't talk about yet. That's supposed to be coming out very soon. So I think we're going to get some updates on that as well.
And Mario, right? Mario Wonder.
Yeah, that's true. They had the Direct for that one, but maybe they'll do something about the RPG, the Mario RPG.
That's true.
I think that's supposed to come out this year too.
Very true.
You know, if there's gonna be anything, I think coming out of like how should I say this? NSO games, I would reckon they'd spend time showing off a brand like a new title's coming. Do you think they would spend time on Mario RPG specifically? Like, here's Mario RPG running on NSO. Like, we know what that game is. Or I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah. Are you talking about like the old game or the new one?
The new one.
Okay. Yeah, that's true. We kind of already know what it is, so maybe don't spend too much time on it. But I mean, Nintendo does do that, where they just repeat some stuff every so often. Yeah. Like Fae Farm has been in every single Nintendo Direct. But yeah.
Is there any games that haven't been announced that we would expect to see announced for the
Yes.
fall? Yeah.
I can tell you. Probably not for the fall, for winter.
Oh, okay. Oh, for winter. Okay, that's fair.
Yeah. I would say it would be a nice time to, at the end of the show, if they can, tease or like do a teaser trailer for the Odyssey team's next game, whether that be either be Donkey Kong or I think the next Mario 3D game. I know you have the 2D Mario game coming out.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they would want to spend time distracting from that. So if it is a new game from the Odyssey team, I'd reckon it would be the Donkey Kong game. 3D Donkey Kong.
That'd be cool. No chance that Metroid comes back and says, "All right, this is coming this winter." Metroid Prime 4.
Oh my god.
You know what, Dan?
Yeah.
Prime 4? No.
Yeah. No.
But 2 and 3 coming to NSO?
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That could happen. That could happen.
That could
Especially
happen.
with the remake now out. That makes sense.
I really hope Kid Icarus Uprising gets a remake as well. That would be cool. There's always been rumors about that. Or not a remake, but a port from the 3DS to the Switch.
And Kirby Air Ride, right?
Oh god. Yeah, Kirby Air Ride 2. Let's
Oh my
go.
god, can you fucking imagine?
That'd be great.
I would like to see Zelda ports make way.
Yeah,
We always talk about like Twilight Princess or Wind Waker.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be great.
I want
for
Gage.
people who haven't played
what?
them.
Absolutely. Hardware prediction? Do we see anything?
I don't
Switch
think
2 related?
so.
No, I mean, me either.
Personally.
Do they have a version of like a of a showcase, or is it just state of plays that they, or not state of plays? Nintendo, like is Nintendo Direct the only nomenclature that they use for any sort of announcement? Okay, so theoretically there could be something, but probably not tomorrow. Or
They do a big one in September. The next big one is in what, February or March?
and that's
I'd-
just based on sort of like past
On
patterning and
patterns,
how
yeah.
yeah, okay.
I would think that the next one they would announce the hardware, right? Like if it's coming next year, you think?
March, and then have like a release date like somewhere in end of summer, early fall.
Yeah.
Sure.
Do you want one of my predictions of what we're going to see tomorrow at the Nintendo Direct?
I do.
Mario, Zelda, Metroid.
You're gonna get one of those. And it's Mario.
That's called getting something right. And
They're gonna remind
or-
everyone that Charles Martinet is not the voice actor for Wonder.
Woohoo!
Do we know who the new voice actor is?
No, they Nintendo said that you'll find out when you beat the game and look at the credits.
Good for
So
them.
Chris Pratt.
Chris
So Chris Pratt, right?
Incredible.
Any other predictions? I was kind of just haphazardly said these at the end of the show, but
Starfield on Switch. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
40 minutes is a lot, but I reckon
So much
about 20
dodgy,
minutes is going to be games that we probably maybe care a little bit about, not much. A lot of Fire Emblem games, I'd imagine. A lot of cozy farm simulator games.
A
You know what I
Fire
mean?
Emblem, they could announce a new Fire Emblem game. I think a year ago they announced the one that came out in the winter of the following year. So like if they announce a new Fire Emblem game, it could come out next year, January, February. So that could happen. That's how Engage, the one that came out this year, was announced. So that's possible.
I'm going to say it.
I was going to say it.
No, I'm not going to
Say
say
it. Say it.
He's not
say
going
it.
to say it.
it. Elden Ring on Switch.
Oh. Cloud. Elden
At
Ring Cloud.
24 frames
Elden
per
Ring
second,
Cloud,
let's
yeah.
go.
yeah. The game makes your Switch explode. Oh, do you know what? Realistically, we are probably going to see the information on the last booster course for Mario
Oh.
Kart.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
I wonder who the
Why?
last two characters are going to be.
Mario Strikers makes 0 appearance tomorrow.
Ooh.
That game came and went.
Is anyone still playing it, or either of you still playing it?
I mean, either. I didn't buy it.
I also didn't
Understand.
buy it.
Okay.
None of us bought it.
What about Switch
Everyone loved to
Sports?
talk about it when it was announced. Oh my god, Mario Strikers is back! And none of you bought it.
Wait.
Yeah. Wait.
Switch. I have it. I have it right now. Switch Sports Resort. Boom. Nice.
That does sound pretty cool.
Yeah, Switch Sports is such a letdown. God damn.
What about Switch Sports Cruise?
Why don't we cruise into the closing of the show? Thank you again to everyone joining us live on YouTube and Twitch, as well as podcast services everywhere, including Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and everywhere else you get your pods. Sorry, everyone. It was a little bit late this weekend because I went back to work Thursday and Friday and completely forgot because I was in office those days. So it uploaded over the weekend. Anchor gave me a lot of trouble. A lot of retrying of the uploads, but after a couple of hours, we got there, and it's there. But until then, thank you, Roshan. Thank you, me. Thank you, Gage. That's Daniel. And this has been Podcast PXN. And we are out.
Much love and keep on gaming.
See ya.
Yeah.